Blue Lock chapter 227 starts with a little flashback of Snuffy and his best friend, and together they're hanging around on their boat, have some nice drinks while talking to each other, and it seems like his friend's name was Mick. Mick and Snuffy kind of talked about how the world is theirs, and how they are the strongest, and that there's nothing in this world that can stop them. Mick agrees and tells Snuffy that they are the strongest, and if they can't become the kings of football, then it's better to die. Back on the field, and Barou is in possession of the ball, and like we saw at the end of last week's chapter, Barou has finally decided to go back to his roots and do whatever he wants to do from now on. Nico and Drago are shocked that Barou is ignoring the team, but they can't reach Barou. Barou tells them to stop yelling and blames them for not thinking on their own anymore, and he also reveals that from the moment he took this job, he actually planned to break this team. If Barou can steal Snuffy's tech, it will just be garbage for him. He took the Predator's eye, and now it has become useless to Barou. The Uvas players are mad and scream at him, and we can see Gagamaru being confused as well, but Yoichi tells his teammates to steal the ball from Barou. We can see Kunigami and Grim trying to take advantage of the situation by stealing it from Barou, as they both came up to him. But Snuffy asks Barou if he wants to deny him, and Barou agrees, as he wants to destroy the team Snuffy created and wants to surpass Isagi. Barou passes to Aiko, and a surprised Aiko asks Barou what he's planning to do, and Barou tells Aiko to just follow him, to be his arms and legs, which is all he can do. Aiko now realizes what Barou is planning to do and decides to ride with the king and rebuild Uva's attack. Suddenly Nico, Aiko, Lorenzo and Drago recognize this pattern and situation as well, and it seems like Uvas have finally taken over the game by themselves without systematically doing whatever Snuffy wants, as Barou is now the designer of the team. Barou screams at Snuffy that this team Snuffy created is the best environment for ordinary people to play football, but as we know, the Blue Lockers aren't just ordinary people, they are egoists, and therefore Snuffy's tactics lack a lot of despair for players like Barou to live on. We then get to see a monologue of Barou, and Barou admits that he has lost to Isagi and was deeply despairing of his own powerlessness, which is the reason he was able to change, go crazy, get back up. But Barou wasn't happy by just serving under Snuffy. He didn't want to crumble under the option that it is the master's fault if he would fail again. And for a future that is guaranteed like that, he will not live. If you want to hold the world's greatest hope, put a corresponding despair on the scales, and only after paying the price, the risk of despair that drives Barou's life crazy, his soul can be stirred by glory. We can now see Isagi analyzing the situation, and Isagi knows that Barou once again has gone crazy and has entered his hunting mode. In this high-level world-class stage, one person's idea is going to swallow everything, and Barou's trying to fulfill the kind of imagination that Isagi wanted to do, with a villainous Barou who goes on a rampage on the battlefield once again, and a faithful Isagi who is ready to stop him. This week's chapter comes to an end. So a big cooldown chapter we got here, and at the beginning we got a small insight of what happened to Snuffy and his friend Mick. Both were on the top of the world and saw themselves as the world's best, but got humbled in the end and failed, which is the reason why Mick committed suicide. And Snuffy saw these parallels in Barou and therefore wanted to save him from experiencing a similar trauma. And I think all of the old school Barou fans can now be relieved, as Barou has finally returned to his roots and also kind of freed himself and his team from Snuffy's vessels and tactics. And in my opinion, this will for sure make each and every one of the Ubers players individually stronger, but it will also be the reason why Ubers will lose to Basel Munich in the end and fail. But nevertheless, they will learn that it is important to play as a team, but at the same time stay egoistic and selfish enough to do your own decisions and not just rely on others or rely on the manager, as they need to be the ones in the end that take responsibility for their own failures. And I think we can currently see a pattern that most of the Blue Lock players return to their roots at the beginning, just in an advanced form. Nagi gained some new skills, but went back to Rio. Barou gained the Predator's eye and acted as a team player, but still returned to his roots as their king in the end. I'm sure that Rin and Shido will also go through a kind of similar process during the Basel Munich against PXG match. Alright guys, what do you think of this week's chapter? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a nice day.